Building quadratic functions. So this is building upon what you learned earlier this semester. With a quadratic function, there's going to be a symbol out front. If you don't see a symbol, it's positive. And when we have a positive quadratic function, so a positive leading coefficient, it means our parabola opens upward. If this is negative, so it's reflected across the x-axis, the parabola will open downward. Behind this symbol will be a number. If you don't see a number, it's the number 1. It's a hidden 1. But if you see a number, this number determines whether our parabola is skinny or if it's wide. And if it's wide, we use the word compressed, like it's flattened out. And if it's skinny, we use the word stretched. Anytime this number is greater than 1, it is stretched. And if this number is less than 1 but greater than 0, it's compressed. The negative symbol, once again as a review, determines whether your parabola opens up, and if the negative is in the problem in front, then it opens downward. Behind that, you're going to see x plus or minus a number. This is your horizontal shift, and it's just opposite of what you see. For instance, if you saw an x subtract 2 inside, it really would mean we're going to take the parabola and we're going to shift it to the right 2. Behind is your vertical shift, and you're going to do exactly what it says. So if it's a plus 3, we're going to take the parabola and shift it up 3. Okay, getting started with number 1. We start with our parent function, and we're going to translate this. We're going to compress it. We're flattening it out by a factor of 2/3. It says nothing about opening downward or reflecting across the x-axis, so I don't have to put a negative out front. Then it says we're going to translate it 4 units to the right. So instead of doing x plus 4 like you would assume, it's opposite x minus 4. And shift down 5, minus 5 and back. Going on to number 2. Again, this is our parent function for quadratic formulas. We are going to compress this. We're going to flatten out our parabola. It's opening wider by a factor of 6/7. It says nothing about opening downward or reflecting across the x-axis, so there's no negative out front. We're going to translate it 1 unit to the left, so x plus 1, and remember to put the square here. It says nothing about shifting it up or down, so we don't have to write any type of a vertical shift and back. Number 3, we have our general parent function. Stretch it so our parabola will be skinnier by a factor of 5. This time it says opens downward. So that's the way we can visually see it, but mathematically the best way to describe it is reflecting across the x-axis. It's going to be translated to the left 2 units, so plus 2, it's opposite, and down 7. Red cup, green cup, based on your understanding so far. Number 4, we have a parent function, vertically stretched by a factor of 7, translated 3 down. It says nothing about reflecting across the x-axis, and it says nothing about being translated to the left or right. So actually, I can just write x squared here and down 3. It's not even necessary to put this in parentheses if you don't want to. Kind of a tricky one. Okay, then we have g of x equals, so we're going to compress it. We're going to flatten out this parent function, this parabola, and it opens up, opens downward, so put the negative in front. It's translated 11 to the right, so opposite inside, 11 to the right, and up 3, plus 3. Number 6, g of x equals, we're going to vertically stretch by a factor of 3, so it's going to be a skinnier parabola. It opens downward, so there's a negative in front. It's translated to the right 4, so x minus 4, quantity squared, and up 8. Remember to always put this square. Number 7, g of x, we have a parabola that is compressed, so it's flattened out by 1/5. This time it opens upward, so you could put a plus sign, but it's not needed. If you don't see a sign, it's assumed it's positive. So it opens upward. It's translated to the right, so x minus 2 quantity squared, and up 4 units from that position. Here we're taking the parent function, we're going to open downwards, so I'm going to put a negative out front. It gives us no number, so that means it's not compressed or stretched. It's just going to be the original shape of the parent function. And we are going to translate it to the right 3, so x, let's see here. We're going to translate it 4 units to the right, so x minus 4 quantity squared. There is no vertical shift. Could you put a 1 in front? You sure could, but it's not necessary. Number 9, we're taking this parent function and we are going to vertically stretch it by a factor of 3. It opens upward, so I do not have to put a negative. And it's translated 2 units down. It says nothing about a horizontal shift, so we can just put x squared. Feel free to put that in parentheses if you wish. And then shift it down 2. And the last one on this page. Compress it, so we're flattening out our parabola. It opens downwards, so we attach a negative in front. It says nothing about horizontally shifting it to the left or right, so we leave it as x squared, and it's up 3.